got the girls. They have to do the work in the morning when I'm in the barn on Saturdays. That's what they did. They vacuum cleaned for me, did the dishes for me, fixed breakfast, did laundry. So when I came in, at 8:15, I took a shower, and then I brought my daughter down to all the way on the other side of Cobleskill. And I went back, had to go do some shopping in Cobleskill, and came home about 11 o'clock. Fixed some lunch for the guys. Well, there's always lots of things to do. But I took a little nap today because I felt a little tired. Amsterdam, you know what Amsterdam is. That's what you can see almost from here. And at night, when the lights are on, of course, you can see that all fairly far away. There he is. Cutting wood. Now you hot?
No, I'm finally hot.
Wait, what's cold? You got your long pins on there,
Yep, I do.
Good, man. That wind is blowing. And I need a hot cup of coffee, I suppose.
That's true.
Okay. I had a
Shine the head on.
one of them guys up, too.
Man, you got a big head.
So what is this book about?
That's a book I'm reading. It's called The Collapse of Evolution. Very interesting book. That disproves on everything that evolution could never be true. And I agree with that. I think that this whole book proves that the evolution theory is just plain ridiculous. And they prove it with fossils. Well, fossils only prove one thing, that had been a flood. Tell them your news meeting today. Crazy. This will go on forever, man. You got to worry about the ozone layer and about pollution and everything for hundreds and hundreds of generations to come. Who knows? That'll be the end tomorrow. No worries about the ozone layer then. Well, anyway, that's why we have different philosophies in this world. In my family?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody votes. Everybody votes. As soon as they're 18, that's a great thing that we have that. It's a funny thing, I believe, that if you are a naturalized citizen, when you become here and you have earned your citizenship, it was not just given to you just because you happen to be born here, you appreciate it more to be an American. I see it all over the place. My own neighbors, don't even bother. They're not interested in politics. They don't stand for anything. They don't have no philosophy of their own. They don't even care. The more I can get out of whatever party it is or whatever party it is, well, maybe then I'll vote. And I think that's sick. But that's the way it goes. I guess you have to come to this country and then appreciate what it means to be an American. Like I said, I can always say I earned my citizenship. If I wouldn't have been the kind of guy I was, they would have said, hey, back to you. But all the other people that happen to be born here, we can't do a thing about it. They're American citizens, whether we like them or not.
Well, I have to go.
You know what I mean?
Where do you go?
Fine. Milk.
Yeah, I gotta go too. Man, is it so hot in here, Mom, or what?
Where's the emergency brake?
Right there. That's the pedal.
She just got a permit to drive. So she's really interested about driving and everything. Every chance she gets, boy, she wants to vroom. It's kind of funny. People wonder where Dad gets all his names, for his cows and stuff, because all his cows are on record, so they all have to have a name of some sort. Well, it's kind of a riot because when he first started out farming, he was kind of small, and he didn't have that many cows. So he just named his cows after girls that he knew in high school. Well, after a while, he got so big, he started running out of all girls and stuff that he knew in high school. So now when he meets people, if they're women, he'll ask their names and stuff, and that's how he gets a lot of his names for cows now. I think it's kind of funny.
You want to get the bag of that, Ed?
Are you on? No.
boys all had a horse, but they weren't interested in the horses. But now, my youngest daughter, boy, she is crazy about them. She wants to become a horse farmer, she said, when she grows up. Well, I tell you, when I was a kid, only princes had horses. And now I thought, boy, isn't that nice that my own kids can each have a horse? There's no Halloween in our family. Halloween goes around. I mean, there's nobody comes here either because we have the dogs around and kids never come here, so Halloween don't mean a thing to us. Today when we go to church and we, like I said, we celebrate the Reformation. Martin Luther was one of the first monks who found out that people are not being saved by punishing themselves and, you know, do whatever the Roman Catholic Church says. So that's where the Reformation comes from. And I think that's one of the greatest things in history, that he put those 95 theses on the chapel in Wittenberg. And that he did that on October the 31st. And that's what we should remember on October the 31st. One of the greatest things that have happened in history of the world. Christendom being relieved from the power of a couple of people in the Roman Catholic Church that were completely against God and everything else. And instead of that, we celebrate Halloween, which is the Sabbath of the devil holiday. We go around and have our kids dressed up in as spooks and ghosts and skeletons and witches and everything else, and trying to scare everybody. There's nothing else but helping the devil along. And we have never been brought up like that, and that's why my family never goes along with it. We do not believe in trick or treat or go around in funny costumes or anything like that. Want some more? You have a piece of this cake already? Why America celebrates Thanksgiving is because they thank God for having survived. You know, for the fruit of their labor and on their fields. And you thank God for that. Side Holland? Yeah. Side Holland. So you got North Holland and Side Holland.
Which one's missing?
North Holland and South Holland.
I think I'm going to go out this afternoon and go hunting for a while.
Yeah, there you go.
Dad said
I'm
he
going to go
saw
hunting
3
for
big
two-legged deer.
You have enough walking? I saw you guys wanted to
You go hunting two-legged deer, right?
I have found that in times of difficulty, I experience a closer walk with God than when things are going smoothly. It is in those times of difficulty that prayers and thanksgivings are more intense and much more meaningful. Let us pray. Amen. Page 178, postscript 6. Misery. You know, like when you talk about the 10 Commandments, you say, well, I haven't making any graven images lately, and I haven't committed adultery, and, you know, I haven't killed anybody, and I didn't steal anything yet, so I'm all set. Look at people today. You know, they talk about loving each other, but really, they are so deeply in love with themselves. That's really the whole thing. I was watching Miss America the other night. Maybe I shouldn't even have looked at it, but I did. And did you see what was the topic? What they all talked about? You know, they were being interviewed, you know, and they gotta say something, you know, and it gotta be appealing. Did anybody see it? Well, anyway, the whole answer was everyone. Well, I first of all I had to believe in myself, and I had to believe that I was great. You know, that whole thing. See? there's no more that humbleness, that whatever I do, you know, that a Christian would say, if I do anything good and I will love anyone, it's because of the love of Jesus Christ that's in me. Our nature is to hate God and our neighbor. That's our nature. Well, you got to go to this class, and then, you know, then you have to go before the council, and they ask you certain questions that, you know, you know what our church actually believes. And that's why we have this class. So just like any organization, you know, you have to know what it stands for and what their standards are, you know. We used to live in Orange County, New York, southern part of the state of New York, and we were always renting a different farm. You know, we kept on moving one farm to the other. And finally, the bank told me, he says, you know, why don't you buy a place instead of always renting? You know, you own your own place. So we started looking around, and this place happened to be in the paper, but I live now, and I went down to look at it, and I looked at a couple of other places, and I liked this place, and I put a down payment on it, and brought my wife the next day, and we bought it. I own actually 4 farms, many barns and many houses, which I have acquired over the years, and totaling about 1,200 acres altogether. They want to sell me a new Buick. That's what that is all about.
Oh, here's another check for you.
Dave, there's Christmas carols on them.
Here's a Christmas card. This bit came out pretty good, too.
That's the one when he snuck in the room, and then nurse got mad at him.
Which one is it? No, I don't remember. Emily?
Yeah, Emily.
Yeah, that's Emily. It just came from Holland in the mail here.
Where do you get so much double mail?
In Holland, you have the feast of Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas was a Roman bishop that had his birthday on December the 5th. And on his birthday, December the 5th, the story goes that he gave poor children pepper nuts. And he had black servants that actually climbed on top of the houses, and he would throw pepper nuts down the chimney. And then later on, you know, and they still celebrate, you know, the giving of presents on December the 5th, on St. Nicholas' birthday. But now in the United States, they have everything mixed up. You know, it's such a mixture of all kinds of cultures that now we have it's not even Saint Nick anymore. It's what do you call him? Santa Claus. And he doesn't come from Spain on his horse anymore. He comes from the North Pole. And he hasn't got horses anymore. He doesn't ride on a horse. He's got a sleigh with reindeer, and he flies through the sky, and he got big black boots and a big belly on, and everybody knows that. See, so on December the 25th, I mean, that's crazy to have that on the birthday of Jesus Christ. But we have to go along with it in this country because, you know, you can't have your own little bit of Saint Nick, you know, as one Dutch family, especially not when everybody else, you know, gets married to a culture. You can't do that. So that's why we do it on December the 24th now.